Hey everybody, welcome to my creative writing channel where I use critical analysis to help you tell your story. And today I wanted to go back over Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds by William Shakespeare. And this is because I often have very rose-colored glasses on and like to see things that sometimes are not there. And I thought, well, maybe I should take a second look, and I did. And I want to offer a second interpretation for the poem that maybe it's not about love, but the absence of it. We have 12 lines in a sonnet that present a problem. The last 2 lines give a solution. So when I read it this time, I can give like line by line analysis of words, phrases, and everything. But I want to see if it seems to be something getting in the way of something, and I'm just, not quite sure what that is, but hopefully, since I do the analysis kind of improv, I'm hoping to find something that I don't see right now. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. So, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. The first time I looked at it, I thought, okay, well, this is about a couple, because marriage, and then impediments can also reference a contract, especially a marriage contract. But I don't necessarily look at it about someone getting in the way of a couple being together, so much as there's a community. When it says to the marriage of true minds, that could be many people having like the same viewpoint about something, and the persona is saying that he doesn't want to deny them their own point of view. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. So it's not just about accepting that people are different. This is about embracing our differences. And then, or bends with the remover to remove. So it doesn't enable wastefulness. That there is some value to having alternative opinions and people embracing that. And so people may not like that, come together to try to stomp it out, say that's not acceptable, but love is going to find a way to at least make it available in the space of discourse. So, oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark. It leaves an impression on our heart forever that looks on tempests and is never shaken. So it's brave in battle, knows its purpose. It's the star to every wandering bark. So the love is the guidance that is provided for every ship at sea. It's the North Star. And then it says, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. So, you can't put a price on the truth or your home, but the fact is that, there's a mortgage, there is a tuition, there are concrete costs to those things that we have. So it's reading it a second time, this whole poem is just it's not all just romantic and magical, but it has very grounded themes. Love's not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. So it isn't naive or superficial, but it has this like predatory tone when it says bending sickle's compass come. Like, that's kind of, it's kind of mean to say that, time is going to take away beauty in that manner. It's, I don't know, it's a little harsh, but time is cruel. And so love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So then maybe does that leave the possibility that it could or would if given enough time? So, and this I think is where the whole poem kind of turned around for me when I read it a second time, that like, wait a minute. I think Shakespeare, to someone who really isn't quite paying attention or doesn't want to see anything like, past the surface level, is going to say, well, it's all about love and about, like, again, the romantic themes, the magic, the mystery, rose-colored glasses, but it's possibly maybe something that changes us, like, over time or instantly, but this seems to be the possibility that it's like, well, it's set out with the intent or purpose to do that. Whereas in the beginning of the poem, he's saying, love doesn't do those things, that it, is unconditional in accepting people's flaws and differences. But I feel like as the poem goes on, we're left with a feeling of love forever. And it seems that when he says, bears it out even to the edge of doom, that it's something that we need to hold on to. And I think that in order for us to be authentic, we need to have a good grasp on our feelings, and in order to be able to access them later, it's important, because that's what creates the lasting impression, authenticity, and we need to be able to access that from time to time. So, if this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. And I gave an interpretation in the last one about how I felt like it was just point blank, cut and dried. But if you look at the two lines specifically and draw a line right down the middle, you can convey a second interpretation, which is, if this be error, I never writ. And so there historically is a lot of conjecture about who William Shakespeare was. Did he write these poems? What gives? And then on the other side, upon me proved, no man ever loved. So it's kind of bleak when you look at it that way. I'm just saying. Not necessarily the happiest interpretation, but it's an alternative take, and the whole point of the channel was to say that there may be differences of opinion, and in order to know and access what reality is, which we need to be safe, we have to have different points of view available to us. And so this is another one. And I hope you were able to get something out of that. I misplaced the two lines from the writing assignment, so that'll be the next video. Writing assignment from Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds. Thank you for listening.